For people that are listening and watching the podcast, what should they do to start thinking a little bit more in an entrepreneurial way, even if they don't want to kind of open their own business now? But
Mhm.
what should they do on a daily basis? What should they learn? How should they keep themselves? Actually, how should they create their plan B?
Yeah, well, I don't think there's a single way to do that. I think if they get to where my mindset was in 1980, where I was ready to move on from the corporate world and do something on my own, if they get to where they're beginning to think about that, then they need to find some time, nights, weekends, whatever it is, to begin thinking about problems they could solve and then road testing those problems, like I argue in the New Business Road Test. And the reality is that every new venture is nothing more than a bundle of hypotheses, right? I
Yeah.
think this is true, and I think this is true. And if that's true, then might be true. But you have no evidence for any of that stuff. So what you have to do is figure out what those key hypotheses are. Randy Commissar and I call them leaps of faith. What's the leap of faith that you'd have to take for this business to be successful? And then you begin testing those hypotheses, and you can do that nights and weekends. You can test an awful lot of stuff with the internet now.
Yeah.
You can put some stuff online and see if anybody signs up or indicates interest or whatever. We had a guest speaker at a London Business School event in Sao Paulo a few weeks ago who started an interesting business there to break the bus monopolies in Brazil. So it turns out that in Brazil, it's a huge country, right? There aren't airports everywhere, so the way people travel from city to city is by bus, and all of the bus lines are local monopolies held by influential people. And this guy decided he was going to break that monopoly, and he said, "Well, how can I figure out if I'm going to do this? Well, I'll just create a little website, and I'll offer a trip from city A to city B and see if I get any replies." And he got something like 1,500 replies to the
Wow.
idea. He hadn't created anything yet, but he said, "Okay, I'm going to do it." So then he said, "Okay, now we'll go find a bus company that'll let us run our first bus." And he found a bus company that would do it. And he was really good at promoting all this stuff on the internet. It's called Boozer, like Uber for cars, but this is
Oh,
buses. We call it BUSER, Boozer.
wow.
Anyway, the first bus ride got impounded about a mile down the road, but he had cameras ready and waiting, so they made a big internet spectacle of it. And, anyway, now runs thousands of chartered buses
Amazing.
from city A to city B. But how did he start? By posting that idea and offering it online. So you can do that these days. It's so easy. No reason
Yeah.
not to do it.
All right. So let's go to people who are actually now young people in their 20s who are thinking, what should I do? Am I going to study? Does education matters that much anymore? Because with AI, the entry level jobs have been dismantled in some industries, right? And I was just recording an episode for my YouTube channel about becoming a plumber and electrician, and all these blue collar
Yeah,
jobs are bringing so much more money than
exactly.
any other job, because you get out of university, you have this enormous debt, especially in the US, and then you don't have a job. So what do you think? What should be advised to young people? What should they do?
Well, I'm a professor, so I'm
Yeah,
biased. I think
yeah,
education is a great thing, right? We get many things from education. Among them
yeah,
are an ability to better understand the world around us, to better understand other people who are different from ourselves. And that level of understanding can help you find a problem with which to start a business. So that's one thing that's helpful about education. Another thing more specific to entrepreneurs. So I teach entrepreneurship at London Business School, and people ask us, well, can you transform anybody into an entrepreneur? And our answer is no, we can't do that. We can't see somebody walking by on the sidewalk in front of LVS, pick them up, bring them in, dunk them in the secret sauce, and put them back on the sidewalk, and they've been magically transformed. No, we can't do that. But the challenges that entrepreneurs are going to face are predictable ones. There are challenges about finding and understanding customers. There are challenges about raising money. There are challenges about the barriers to growth and how to overcome them. All those things are predictable. And so we can teach people about what those things are and how other entrepreneurs who faced them before have solved those challenges. And I think that improves the odds. Does it guarantee success? Certainly not. But I think we can improve the odds. So education has many roles to play. Those are two. It's a signal. You know, if you get a really good education, that's a signal to people that you're a smart, motivated person who's likely to be successful. Well, that
Mhm.
signal might help you. It might help you build a team. It might help you raise money. So, yeah, get an education. There's no rush to be an entrepreneur. Go get an education.
Yeah.
Unless you have a problem that you're passionate about solving right now, and that problem exists right now, then get your education first
Mm.
and get a good
But
one.
the gap that the lack of entry level jobs does create a lot of issues. So how would how would students bridge that is the question. And I'm asking you that because many people ask me
Yeah,
because I have my portfolio career and they say, okay, so what should I do? And I can't answer. That's why I'm asking you. You're what would you suggest?
well, one of the things they can do is take their world into their own hands. And while they're studying, start looking for entrepreneurial opportunities, begin to assess them. And when they
Mhm.
graduate, get started. Or before they graduate, get started. We have lots of
Yeah.
students at London Business School who are working on new ventures while they are studying. And in fact, they use their studies to examine the prospects for the new venture. So that's one thing you could do. Another thing you can do is what you've said. Think about careers in which you actually produce something with your hands, whether that's a plumber or an electrician or something else. The world needs more people who can do those things, and those kind of roles are not going to go away. We need not cast aspersion on those heretofore blue collar jobs. They're incredibly important. And, being a good plumber, you're going to get paid really well. That not every plumber is a good plumber, just like not every professor and every podcaster is a good professor and podcaster.
Yeah.
But the best of breed are going to be very, very successful. So maybe you find something that's your avocation and you find a way to get a job in that avocation. And if you're passionate about that because you love it, you're more likely to be successful than others in that arena, and you're going to grow. So I think those are some of the solutions. Yeah, it's a tougher world today. You're right, Annie, but I think those are some of the ways forward.